joined by Shelbourne manager Seán Russell. Seán, last season we would have talked Treaty United, everyone was Treaty. A lot of people would have expected you to be there again this year. Hasn't worked out. The departure happened toward the end of the season. The opportunity now to come in and manage Shelbourne, a job you probably couldn't turn down.
No, absolutely not. No, I think as far as the game in this country, in the women's game, like Shels is the pinnacle, and yeah, I'm very privileged and honoured to have the opportunity to go and manage the Shelbourne women's team. Yeah.
When you look back, your first season coaching at the top level in the women's league, what have you learned about yourself? What have you learned as a coach?
So much, like you learn so much on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and yeah, look, you take a lot of learnings, and yeah, ones that I'm looking forward to putting into practice this season.
What was that conversation like when Shelbourne ring and say, hey, listen, we've an opening here, Shelbourne get in touch? What's that conversation like?
I think initially it's excitement. I think it's excitement to have the opportunity, and yeah, look, it was a really positive kind of experience and conversation. It was, I think there was a lot of alignment in terms of how I viewed the game and the ambitions I had and the ambitions the club have. So yeah, it was quite smooth right from the start.
Nice to get a bit of recognition last year, nomination for Manager of the Year, considering the improvements that you helped Treaty United make last year.
Yeah, of course, but like a lot of that does have you have to credit the group as well, because there's a lot that goes into that, not just the manager. So yeah, look, it was a nice touch at the end of the season to be nominated, of course, but yeah, I'm very fortunate for a lot of positive experience I had last year as well.
You would have seen Shelbourne a couple of times. You would have given them some good games, some other games where they would have sort of taken control against you. What's been the biggest thing you've noticed when you look back at, say, maybe some of the Shelbourne games last year?
Yeah, I think just quality. I think it's a club and it's a team that's always had a lot of quality within the team. And I found that, like, personally, when I came up against it last year, a lot of the time that was the difference. And it's something that we really want to harness this year. And we want to be a team that comes out every week and leaves nothing out there and leaves everything on the pitch, but plays with a level of quality that excites the group. So yeah, we want to take that quality and we want to push it to another level this year.
They lost a couple of players during the summer. Kate Mooney got injured, and then they've lost quite a good few this off-season. It's been nearly a bit of a building job for you. You've had to come in and sort of put your own stamp on what you've wanted. How have you found that sort of process?
Yeah, it's been great. I think, like, obviously we've made assessments, and the objective is to go and win the league this year. So we're trying to put together a squad that we feel can do that. We feel like up to this point we have recruited, and we've got in the characters that we need, and like you said, the likes of Kate still to come back into it, who's doing really well in her rehab. So yeah, look, the process has been good, and we're really happy and pleased with it to this point, and yeah, we're just excited now to get going and get playing games.
I have to ask, there was a lot of, backlash on social media when some players left last season. Were you expecting that? How was that to deal with? Because obviously Shels have some really loyal fans as well who support the women's team all over the country. Yeah,
of course. Look, listen, we'd be naive if we didn't think there was going to be any sort of response to the squad and the changes. But I think ultimately for me, as the manager of the football team, my job is to make sure we put a squad together that I feel that can go and win the league next year. And any decisions we made was for that. And like I said, I think understandably, I think a lot of players, a lot of really good servants have had a lot of incredible moments with the group. So you understand it from a point, but I think at this stage as well, it's about more so excitement now for the new crop and the new group to go and see how they do. And full focus now is on 2026.
How was that decision with the club? Because obviously, as you say, some have been there for a long time. When you say to the club, okay, I'm thinking about making these sort of changes, when the club are on board with you, how was that sort of communication with the club itself? Because it's obviously a difficult decision to have to sort of communicate that with the players and with the club itself.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's just part of the football, really, isn't it? And I think it comes every way, and yeah, look, all I can say is the club have been so supportive in terms of my ambitions and the squad that we're looking to build and the way that we're looking to play. So, yeah, look, like I said, I think the decisions we've made is because it's a team that we feel can go and win the league, and I think the club have been really supportive in terms of my ambition and vision of the group.
Let's talk 2026. I'm going to mention one player first because I'm delighted to see her back. Maggie Pearce coming back in. I thought Shels probably, if they could have kept on to her when she had left, was one that it would have kept on, considering her ability and her qualities. You brought in Maggie, you brought in Aoife Kelly, you brought in Emily Croft. There's a couple of others still to be announced. You must be excited with your squad.
Absolutely, yeah, and Becky Watkins to include in that as well. And I think we're really happy with it. We're really pleased. I think they were all targets that quite early on we wanted to get back in, and we've been successful in doing so. So, yeah, we're really excited. I mean, there's signs of it already in the first couple of weeks in pre-season, where the energy's been really good. We're very pleased with the fitness levels of the group, and yeah, we're really happy.
There was something that was sort of said last year in around Shels was where they backing the women's team properly in the sense of the transfer market, because they're a very light squad, and when injuries happened, that's how they sort of tailed off towards the end. Does this sort of show as an extent to how much they're actually backing you this year?
Yeah, I think so. Like, look, listen, all I can speak about is my experience, and I think from the minute I've come in the door, when I've spoke to the board and the club, and everyone is so passionate about this team doing well this year, and and that's something that I've got right from the start. So yeah, there's a lot of support there. There's a lot of passion behind the team doing well this year, and we're willing to go and do our part, put in the work, and try and get us over the line and get us a league title.
Thank you very much, Seán.
All right, cheers. Thank you.